Greetings and welcome to the special edition of Superintendent's Corner. Today we are on location at the new West Parish Elementary School, and we'd like to take you on a tour of that school. We will be having some open houses. The West Parish community will have an open house on Thursday, August the 25th, and we'll be inviting the entire Gloucester community to come and take a tour of the building on Sunday, August the 28th. You may or may not know that the beginnings of this new West Parish started back in 2009 when a statement of interest was submitted to the Massachusetts School Building Authority. It had lied dormant for a couple of years until January of 2012 when we were invited to resubmit, and we were brought into the program, into the eligibility period. And now here we are in the summer of 2016. We've gone through eligibility periods, feasibility studies, schematic designs, funding for the project, the actual construction, and we're now at the portion which we're very happily call the completion of the project. So we'd like to take you on the tour, see what we have, and with me today I've got one of the owner's project managers from KBA Associates, Alex Corbett, is going to give us some information, and our principal of the West Parish Elementary School, Telena Imel. Greetings, and once again, thank you for coming on the program. We're located here in the foyer, right inside the main entrance, and perhaps I can start with Alex and ask him to describe some of the conception and what you'll be seeing.
Sure. So this is what we call the main lobby. It connects the A building from the B building, separates the classroom wing from the more public spaces. As you can see, we have sort of a nautical theme going on in the main lobby with a lot of the wood characteristics and the waterfall feature. You'll see that the lights are representative of boat buoys, and it's really just a nice space that brings everyone together as they disperse throughout the building.
Right. And I notice, Telena, that administrative offices are right here by the main
Yes.
door. Can you describe what you have over there?
Sure. We have a main lobby that has, a main office that has sliding glass doors to allow maximum access to the office, screening, a double door buzzing system for teachers and parents and visitors to come in. What I was focusing on just a second ago is we have a painting above us that was in the previous West Parish School by Paul Shimataro, a local artist, and we had it framed and rehung for this project, and we're really excited with the way that it turned out. And we also have in this lobby area a display case. Just recently, West Parish was part of the Horribles Parade and took the most creative, so we have a place to display the new trophy in the case, so we're excited about that.
Great. So here we are in the foyer. Why don't we move along and let's take a look at some of our classrooms. Here we are up on the third floor, and we wanted to show you one of the corridors. Now, many of the decisions as the building was being developed were done by the school building committee and a subcommittee of the school building committee, which was the interiors committee, and Telena was a member of that interiors committee. So much of the decor, the colors, some of the patterns, many of the patterns in fact, all were the result of a lot of work by this particular interior committee. So to tell us a little bit about the motif and all, Telena, could you elaborate?
Sure. So as we mentioned in the lobby, we have a nautical theme throughout. We wanted to make it a little understated as opposed to right there. So the hallway tiles you can see on each side, they're designed to be the depths of the ocean, with each of the colors of blue changing, pops of color to show, that there is life and activity inside the ocean. The floor has a wave throughout. The ceiling has a matching wave throughout the tiles, and we're really excited about this space because you'll see when we are in the classroom that there are cubbies inside each of the classrooms, so the hallways will stay bright and clean and airy and easy for people to get to and from where they need to be.
I was about to comment in the same way, because these hallways are rather wide, which makes obviously for less congestion and for smoother trafficking, and even cuts down on noise, I would think, as well. So that's all in the planning.
Yes.
Terrific.
One of the nice things about this corridor is the amount of tackable space we have. I'm sure teachers love the idea of being able to tack children's artwork on the walls, and Doran Whittier has provided that throughout these corridors.
Right.
And we make sure it's compliant with the fire department's
course.
regulations as well. So
And
everything's in place.
again, making learning happen throughout the building. At the ends of the corridors, you can see a bench. Students can go outside, explore through small group work, and be able to explore all the things that they're curious about.
Right, for sure. Good. Here we have it. Okay.
All righty.
We are on the third floor in a grade 5 classroom. I should mention that all of our classrooms are on a side of the building, what's called the academic wing. We have 7 classrooms on each floor. 6 are dedicated for regular education, with special education students in those classrooms as well. And one of those classrooms on each floor is a specifically dedicated special education classroom. My understanding is that each of these classrooms are just a little under 1,000 square feet. Our kindergarten classrooms are just a little bit larger than that. Talk a little bit about this particular room and some of the reactions of students who came to visit the school. Telena, could you talk to that?
So right at the end of the school year, Alex put together a map of the school, and we put together a group of building ambassadors, incoming 5th graders, who want to come to the school and help lead the tours that you talked about in the open houses. Right. So when they got to the classrooms, it was really amusing to see, because the features of the building that we take as a natural, 14 children pushed up against a white grate in the corner was pretty amusing, because they just, when you can't feel it in a video, but the air, the temperature in this room is cool at all times, even on the 90-degree days, and students thought that was pretty incredible. We have built in each classroom a teacher desk, and we have built-in cubbies on the walls, and storage all the way up to the ceiling on the cubby wall, and then just natural storage throughout. Behind me is the classroom library storage under the windows. And as you can see, this teacher's been in and put in a great deal of effort to get it ready for the beginning of the school year. And rooms across the building are all in various states of unpacking and getting the furniture in the room. So it's great, and we're excited.
One of the things that Telena and I talked about was using the school as a teaching tool. And as you can see with many of the classrooms, we have a lot of opportunities to teach the students about sustainability. This room in particular, we have LED lights throughout. We have voice amplification system. We have displaced air, as Telena mentioned. One of the very nice things about these rooms is the occupancy sensor. So when the room is dormant, the lights shut off. It's a great way to save energy.
We didn't mention it when we were in the hallway, but the bubblers have a bottle counter to help students understand water conservation, and also to see their impact on the footprint.
Right. As you said too, it's very comfortable in here. It's going to be in the mid to high 80s today, and it couldn't be any more comfortable. This Displace vent system?
It basically, it's not an air conditioning system, it's more of a dehumidification system. So it'll take the humidity out of the air and replace it with a nice dehumidified climate within each room. Right. And we should mention that this building is going to be LEED Gold certified. So.
And that has to do with environmental aspects too,
Correct.
Which call for a particular certification.
Correct.
And some credits with respect to reimbursement from the MSBA and all the rest.
Yep.
Right.
That reminds me of the hot weather in Arizona. It's what's the dry heat.
Right.
Here we have a dehumidified
Right.
air.
It's very
so
nice.
It's great.
And the displacement air system is also designed to take the toxins up and out through the ceiling. They don't get recycled back through the building. So in the midst of flu and cold season, we should be a little bit healthier, I'm hoping.
we'll keep a close watch on that.
Exactly.
Terrific. Great. And now here we are in the library, this big, beautiful, spacious library. I've got to say, one of the first things you notice when you come in here is the big windows, the beautiful amount of light, an opportunity for students to look over the foyer and see some of the buoyed lights and all the rest. Not to mention the fact that there are books and a media center and all that other stuff. But it is spacious. It's 2 stories. Tell us a little bit about the library,
Sure.
Alex.
So basically the space is broken up into two sections. We have the reading section where children will study and read books, and we have the media center behind us where a massive amount of computers will be located where students and teachers will be able to do many things digitally.
Yes. And one of the features that we've added in the library space is we have our literacy coach and 2 speech pathologists in the offices behind us. Inside the library, we also have a small group study room that has windows from the outside hallway and all the way into the library, so you can look at students learning in action. I know that we've mentioned that previously as an important feature of the room. In the front of the room, we have changed the carpeting tiles to show where a small group gathering place will be for students to come and read books together on the rug, and created places for students to relax and read comfortably and enjoy the love of reading.
Right. One of the things that you can do when you're building new is that you can have your literacy coach and your speech and language people in the library where the books are. That's the level of coordination, the level of detail that goes not only into the physical construction, but the way in which we administer our curriculum, our instruction, and everything else. So it's really nice to see things in the right place. And what better place to really highlight what we have than this particular library.
Absolutely.
So, shall we go on and see what's next? Here we are on one of the landings that obviously connect through staircases, one level to the other. But again, a lot of it has been done with meticulous attention. In particular here, the windows are broad. We have 2 stories, and we're looking out on the science park, the basketball courts, and it just is a really nice frame of what's on the outside of the building, and also very, very wonderful light for students who are traveling to and fro in the building as well. Alex?
Like Dr. Safier said, a main piece of the design was to frame sort of the existing of what we have on the site. And as you can see, Doran Whittier, the architect of the project, has done a really nice job to frame the old science park, which will hopefully get refurbished and used this fall for the students.
In fact, we've got people who are painting it as we speak, so it is in fact getting refurbished, yes? Terrific. Okay, here we go. Great. No stop would be complete on a tour of a new school without taking a look at some of the bathrooms. And the reason we do want to just sort of mention it is that it seems as if school design has now taken a page from the book of airports. That is to say that there's a walk-in element to the bathrooms, but no doors. And that may seem a little bit possibly uncomfortable, but there are reasons for it. And Alex, could you talk a little bit about the layout and its purpose? And Telena, if you want to chime in, of course.
As the superintendent mentioned, visibility is a big thing, not only in airports, but schools now. And what you'll see and what teachers really like to see is the ability to supervise their children in the bathrooms. When they're at the sinks, a major problem area for teachers. So what you'll see in the bathroom is stalls, normal stalls, traditional school, but the sinks are actually outside of the stall area, and that's just an easier way for teachers to be able to supervise their children.
So both sanitary and safe.
Correct.
Right.
And you can see a change in the flooring that marks where you're entering the bathroom space. The bubbler's there so that it's easily cleaned up if the floor becomes wet, and then the sinks are on just the other sides of the bubblers.
And these bubblers, I noticed, and you may have mentioned a little bit earlier in the tour, but we have a fill it up sort of designation for folks to bring their bottles and fill up their water if they like?
That's exactly right. We have a water bottle system that'll actually track the amount of plastic bottles we're saving. It's a really nice feature. It's part of LEED certification as well.
Wow.
And I should also mention that each floor in the academic wing has a student bathroom and an adjacent staff toilet room right next to it.
Right, terrific. So, new age bathrooms.
Correct.
For new age schools, terrific. Great. Great. Well, we wanted to show you both the art room and the music room because they're really, really special. We're in the art room right now, and it's more a studio than an art room. There's some track lighting so the students can really focus in on the work that they're doing. Plenty of bench space, and there are also some really beautiful windows into the hallway. So that they have a sense of openness as they're doing their artwork. Then another huge window to the outside doing the same thing. And conversely, people can walk on by and see the kind of work that's being done. Over in the art storage area, there's a brand new kiln for clay works. So it's really a comprehensive approach. I'll ask Alex to talk a little bit about the skylight and the overall structure. Sure. And so go ahead.
As the superintendent mentioned, natural light's been a big piece of the school, and the art room is a great example of the way that we're bringing natural light in from the corridor, as well as the front of the building, and the skylight above, which is a cal wall system. It's made to bring in diffused light to the space. So really, the track lighting isn't even necessary at some points of the day, but it adds a nice aura to the room for sure.
Right. And there's those winter days too.
Right.
No, we haven't seen a cloud in a while, but I'm sure they're bound to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Another feature we haven't mentioned yet is the acoustical features in all of the classrooms. Above the skylight, there are also sound panels, and with the concrete floor in this room, you don't feel the echo. You feel like you can have a quiet conversation with whoever's right next to you and not disturb anyone else.
Right, which will really pay dividends when we talk about the music room.
Yes, and any art teacher is going to want places for students to clean up their own stuff, and so we have 4 sinks and plenty of storage in this room, which is really fantastic.
Okay, that's great. Good. All right, let's see the music room. Okay, I think that you can probably imagine which room we're in now, and it's big, it's sumptuous, it could double as a performance area as well, and guys, can you take us through it just a little bit?
Sure. We have a matching skylight in this room to the one that we had in the art room. From the outside, you can see the skylight as it has a peaked top, and this room and the art room are mirror images of each other. This room has the blue and red coloring, and the other room has the green and yellow coloring that matches the colors that you saw in the academic wing. The music teacher has a storage closet for all of her instruments, and we're excited to have, open, movable furniture in this space so students can dance and sing and play instruments and explore keyboarding and all kinds of other musical activities.
One really nice thing about this room is the acoustical treatments along each wall and the ceiling as well. So although there'll be music classrooms going on throughout the majority of the building, most likely won't be able to hear this activity, which is great.
Right. Plus, it's physically situated closer to the public side of the school building as opposed to the academic wing.
Correct.
So it displaces the potential for the sound as well. But again, the large windows, Telena mentioned, the skylight windows to the hallway, big, beautiful, and we're ready to go. Let's take a look at the cafeteria. So we started in the foyer in the middle of the building. We then made our way to the west wing where the academics take place and all the various classrooms. Moving here towards the eastern portion of the building, you've got the administrative offices, the library. We were in the arts room, the music room. Now we've come down to the far east section, and what you see around you here is both the cafeteria and a performance area as well. So this will double at school for for breakfast and for lunch, along with various performances and assemblies. But we also expect this to be one of the more public places in the school for the entire community. But to talk a little bit about this particular area in terms of the working with the students and such.
Sure. So we are looking at this space as being a multi-use space. We have a before-school program that starts at 7:45 in the morning, and that program will run out of here. There is a door over there that will allow parents to exit their students right into the building at 7:45 in the morning, and the staff will accept them right there. And then, of course, we'll have lunch in this space. Behind me is the platform, and there's a doorway that leads to the chair and table storage space. But during the time where we're getting ready for the 5th grade play, sponsored by the Gloucester Education Foundation, that will work as a green room feature for us. So students can wait in the music room or get ready for their next act, and then be able to come out onto the platform. So that's a really exciting feature for us, is to be able to put our first play on in this space.
Right.
Additionally, the YMCA has been in, and they're looking at using this space as the after-school program space. So this part of the building will be used well from 7:45 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night.
Great, terrific. A little bit about the logistics. I see the
Right off
food service areas over
adjacent to the cafeteria, we have the new state-of-the-art kitchen area. It'll be well equipped with everything needed to accommodate, I believe it's 3.
We have around 350 students.
Right. And actually behind the cafeteria in the rear, we have a staff dining as well, which has an immense amount of natural light, and it's separated enough so the teachers are away from the students during lunch period.
The furniture will be a mixture of traditional long tables with benches and some round tables with the chairs that you see around the space right now.
And again, getting back to the design feature, and you mentioned it, we've got the music room just on the other side, so when there are performances, there is a place right next to it, right adjacent to the performance area and stuff. So a simple concept, but you know, a very important one, that kind of logic.
Sure.
Terrific. Big, spacious, you know, off the top of your head, ballpark, number of square feet here?
I think it's around 6,000 square feet.
About 6,000 square
Yeah.
feet, which is sort of the size of the gymnasium as well, is it not?
Right.
Which is a full-fledged, it's not an elementary gymnasium.
No, it's full size.
It's a full-size
Yeah.
gymnasium, so why don't we take a look at that?
Sure.
The gymnasium, as you see, is exceptional. It is a full-sized gymnasium, and I guess conceptually, size, sound, ventilation, and lighting were probably the 4 big factors that went into it. Alex, can you discuss those just a little bit?
The basic thing you'll see is the acoustical block throughout. Rather than having a hard surface that'll bounce sound off from the balls, it actually has a void in the block that will help kind of dilute that sound. So as you mentioned, we have a full-size basketball court here and 2 side courts, as well as a volleyball court. We had the lights off a few minutes ago, and it was still pretty bright in this space. It just speaks to the amount of windows and windows within the space.
I remember the old days when you turn on the lights in the gymnasium, and about 20 minutes later, they'd they'd finally
Power up, right?
have some incandescents, right?
One thing you'll remember from the old school, I'm sure everyone remembers, is the gym and the cafeteria in the same space,
Right,
and having to
right.
work around that.
Absolutely.
That
So-
separation within this new school is really
Yes.
quite nice.
And even with that separation, the thought was even larger than that, to make sure that we had a full-size gymnasium, because this is not just a West Parish gym, but it's actually a Gloucester community
Right.
gymnasium, and our hope and expectation is that this is going to be used by a wide variety of groups, and it's absolutely terrific.
Speaking to that point, security organizational standpoint of this school, as we talked about before, is to close off this portion of the school for after-school programs. So it'll really be a nice feature, especially for the custodians. They'll be able to shut down A building and work directly in B building with the community who uses this space.
Right. Another feature that we hadn't mentioned was that along with that shutting down the building, there's also video cameras throughout to allow for security and allow us to keep this building looking new and fresh and beautiful.
Right. I believe we'll have 4 custodians
Yes.
working in this particular building, and the security systems have been designed state-of-the-art to ensure the safety of all who are going to be inside the building and stuff. So that's the inside of the building. Why don't we go outside and take a look at the playground, and then perhaps wrap up this tour. Okay, so we've come to that portion of the new school that I know my soon-to-be 2-year-old grandson can really appreciate, the playground. And it is bigger and better than anything that the West Parish, the previous West Parish ever had. In fact, there are 2 playgrounds if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Telena, tell us a little bit about
Sure.
the planning that went into this.
So the Interiors Committee worked on the playground design also. One of the things that we wanted to make sure of is that if we have 120 students out here, there are plenty of things for them to do. So you'll see that there are 3 different slides. There are lots of things for them to climb on. And from a research perspective, we need kids to move their whole body. So there are things for them to swing on, to climb, to twist, and to just work on balance and mobility. The playground itself is fully accessible for any child with the foam matting, and it's also located very near the ball fields, the softball field and the football field. So when we are able to utilize those fields in the fall of 2017, parents will be able to watch all of their children. They won't be going around the building to the science park. They'll have access to watch both their child on the field and their other children on the playground. So we're excited about that.
Terrific, terrific. Anything to add to that, Alex? Or?
She nailed it.
She nailed it. Great, great. Well, let's take a look at the field here as well. And I know that we're going to have to wait, that the grass has been planted, but for it to really take root, we probably have to wait the full year, do we not?
Right. Fall 2017 is what we've
Fall.
determined, just for the lawn to be able to mature and not get wrecked by the students and sporting
Right,
activities.
just being on it. And the types of sports, obviously we've got a baseball, softball field over here,
Correct.
but anything else?
And a full-length football field. as
Full-length
Telena
football
mentioned.
field?
Yeah.
And kids soccer, I imagine, if need be, they
Sure.
could probably play out there.
Yeah.
So, terrific. And there are how many playgrounds altogether?
So we have this one, and then the science park, which
the
is
science
being
park.
refurbished by the PTO.
Right, and we saw that when we looked out the landing and stuff. Terrific. Okay. Okay, obviously here we are outside in front of the building on the west side. We have the administrative offices, the academic wing, the library. As we move toward the east, we showed you the art room, the music room, the cafeteria, and the gym in the back. Perhaps one thing that we didn't touch upon is some of the landscaping and the concepts there. So Alex, can you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
bio-retention swells and all the rest?
There you go, you got it. So one of the biggest obstacles we had looking at the old school was the separation of bus and student drop-off. So what we were able to do at this school was to separate those two, where we have the bus loop behind us that'll be closed off during the day, just used in the morning and the afternoon for pickup and drop-off. And we have a student drop-off and parking lot behind. So it's really going to be a nice synchronization of how students arrive to the school. And as you mentioned, the bioretention ponds that we have as part of the LEED certification as well. The idea is that they will replenish some of the runoff from the asphalt, replenish it back into the earth, which is a really nice feature, and I think students can really get behind that thought process.
Great educational component
Correct.
as well.
Yep.
Good, good. So with that said, that completes our tour. Again, I want to remind folks that the West Parish community has their open house on Thursday, August the 25th, beginning at
4 o'clock till 5:30.
So parents, guardians, the students themselves should come on in and see this place. The entire Gloucester community is invited on behalf of the school committee to come out on Sunday, August the 28th, and that will be from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. This has been a carefully managed project from its inception, from its first application to the Mass School Building Authority. They are responsible for helping us coordinate the entire process. That coordination is a part of the cost of the reimbursement that goes into the funding for the project. With that said, KBA, our owner's project manager, Dorn Whittier, the designers, and our construction, WT Rich, have done, as I think you've seen, an exceptional job, and we're really thankful. Telena has worked hand in hand with the school building committee and all the various subcommittees. They've done extraordinary work to bring this to fruition, and now we're going to reap the fruits of all that work come this September with opening day at school. So thank you for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see you on the 28th of August. Thank you.